सर्वधर्मस्थापकत्वं सर्वधर्मस्वरूपकः आचार्याणां महाचार्यो रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. Sri Ramakrishna again and again teaching us that existence, knowledge, bliss absolute, the Satchidananda Brahman is one and only one. That is the only reality, this entire happening, whatever is there. There are no two ways about it. Whatever we see, that the action of the Brahman is nothing but the projection of the primordial energy, the Adya Shakti, the Mahashakti, the Adi Shakti. And Sri Ramakrishna says that with the projection of this primordial power from the Brahman, we see so many countless gods and goddesses around us. This entire universe, for that matter, is filled with so many gods. 3 crores 33 lakhs gods and goddesses. But in reality, they are all nothing but the projection, nothing but the manifestation of that one single Brahman. It is Brahman's will that Prakriti has come into force. It is Brahman's will that the Mahashakti, the Adi Shakti is playing this game and making us feel of this entire diversity. In reality, there is no diversity. Physically, it appears to us this entire thing is diverse. I am different, all the beings are different, all the material things are different. But in reality, all these beings, whatever exists in this creation, is nothing but the manifestation of the same ultimate principle, of the same ultimate truth, of the same Satchidananda Brahman. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's teaching to us, and he also gave the example by way of pointing out that the same Captain Vishwanath Upadhyay, when he is performing different activities or when he is not performing any activity, Captain remains the same person. Only thing is, we differentiate that particular aspect depending on the type of work that a person is doing. The person remains same. When Captain is not doing any work, he is inactive, he is sleeping, we say, oh, he is just a captain at rest. When the captain is worshipping, we call that captain as, oh, he is a devotee captain. So much busy he is in the shrine, worshipping and praying to the deities and the gods and goddesses. That role is totally different. And when the same captain goes to meet the Governor General, that is suited, booted, that style, that mannerism of the captain is so very different. We designate him as, oh, Captain Vishwanath Upadhyay has gone to meet the Governor General. Person remains the same, activities are different, and as the activities are different, we designate that person under on the basis of those activities that the person is performing. So when the Brahman is inactive, that is the real Brahman. But when the Brahman is active by way of the action of the Adi Shakti, then we start giving all the names to these gods and goddesses who are doing this action, who are engaged in this activity of creation, preservation, destruction. We call that Shakti as Durga, we call that Shakti as Kali, we call that Shakti as Krishna, we call that Shakti as Buddha. And we keep on designating the same ultimate principle in different categories under different names. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's teaching, and now today we are going to read from the Gospel of the date August 20th, 1883. It is a Monday, and devotees have come to Sri Ramakrishna's room. It is about 8 o'clock in the evening. Sri M is there with Sri M. One of his friends, Hari Babu, has also come, and other devotees are also there, like Narendra, Bhavanath, Adhar, Ram, Manomohan. So all these close devotees are sitting with Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, incidentally, he is sitting inside the mosquito net and meditating. Devotees are sitting on the ground. Sri Ramakrishna is meditating in the net. After a while, he comes out from the net and starts talking to all the devotees sitting on that small cot in his room. And he says he's not very keen on the meditation that he was doing that day. Sri Ramakrishna says, I was meditating inside the net. It occurred to me that meditation, after all, was nothing but imagining of a form. When we meditate upon our chosen deity, what we do? We just try to bring the form of our chosen deity in front of us, and we put our thoughts on our chosen deity. What a beautiful form our chosen deity has. That wonderful, lustrous form of our chosen deity. That beautiful smile on the lips of our chosen deity. All these things we try to visualize during meditation. And Sri Ramakrishna, he doesn't like, having realized the Brahman, all the Brahmajnanis for that matter, they don't like to visualize the aspect with the form then. They want to merge in that Akhanda, Satchidananda, Nirakara, Nirguna Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna says, I was meditating inside the net. It occurred to me that meditation, after all, was nothing but imagining of a form, and so I did not enjoy it. How can we limit that limitless Brahman into that tiny form of my chosen deity? Yes, my chosen deity is the representative of the Brahman, manifestation of the Brahman, but the Brahman that I love to meditate is that Akhanda, is that limitless, that formless, that Brahman without any attributes. That is the form I love to meditate, any Brahmajnani would say. One gets satisfaction if God reveals himself in a flash. While meditating on that Akhanda aspect, while meditating on that limitless aspect, while meditating on that eternal aspect of the Brahman, suddenly the figure of your chosen ideal appears before you. It is not that you are forcing your mind to focus, to meditate, to concentrate on the form of your chosen deity. Your meditation is on the limitless. And suddenly, out of blue, suddenly in a flash, your chosen deity appears before you in that form, in that beautiful Saguna form, in that beautiful form with the attributes, the Sakara form, and that gives you tremendous joy. From nowhere, the Brahman appears to us, appears to the devotees, appears to the aspirants in the form of their chosen deity. Again, I say to myself, Sri Ramakrishna is saying, who is that meditates and on whom does he meditate? When there is no duality, when the devotee and the deity have become one, when the aspirant has merged oneself in that limitless Brahman, who is going to meditate on whom? Then the act of meditation gets nullified. It has no significance then. When two have become one, like the magician Sri Ramakrishna had told us that story, one and two, look one and two, look one and two, and then there is only one. So when the devotee merges in the deity, when the child merges in the mother, when the servant merges in the master, then who is to meditate upon whom? So the process of meditation, Sri Ramakrishna says, is limited only till the time we have the feeling of the Dvaita. We have the feeling of duality, that my chosen ideal is different, I am different. So Sri Ramakrishna that day was not very happy with the meditation. He says, there is no point. And all the Brahmajnanis will always say that they are in their own. They are always merged in the Brahman. They realize that they are Brahman. They attain to that state of Aham Brahmosmi, Saha Aham, Saha Aham, Saha Aham, Soham, Soham, Soham. And then Sri Ramakrishna asks this question to Sri M that what do you think? Why this happens to me? And then Sri M replies that you said that God himself has become everything, the universe and all the living beings. Even he who meditates is God. Because The devotee and the deity are in reality one and the same. So who is to meditate on whom? And then Sri Ramakrishna says, what is more, one cannot meditate unless God wills. God has to give you that urge to meditate. God has to give you that desire that, oh, I should meditate now. By force, we cannot meditate. If we decide, okay, now I'm going to sit and I'm going to meditate. No, meditation doesn't happen like that, Sri Ramakrishna says. God should will for the devotee to meditate. One can meditate when God makes it possible for one to do so. It is ultimately the Brahman. It is ultimately the Almighty. It is ultimately the ultimate truth that wills, okay, now my child will meditate. He has reached the stage of meditating upon me. That decision is taken by the Lord. That decision is taken by the Divine Mother. And then Sri Ramakrishna again asks him, what do you say? And says, true sir, you feel that because there is no I in you. Sri Ramakrishna was totally devoid of the feeling of I, me and mine, the ego. So Sri M, he brought out that aspect of Sri Ramakrishna's personality to him. You have no I, therefore you don't feel like meditating on the chosen deity as such. You are that vastless, you are one with that vast, limitless Brahman. When there is no ego, one feels like that. This is what Sri M has told Sri Ramakrishna. You don't have ego, therefore you don't have liking for meditating on the small aspect of that limitless Brahman. Then Sri Ramakrishna tells him, no, it is not like that. Sri Ramakrishna says, but it is good to have a trace of ego. We cannot get rid of ego. Sri Ramakrishna has told this n number of times. It is not possible for a being to get rid of the feeling of I. But what to do now? We have to proceed on this path of realization. We have to move ahead on this path of enlightenment. The I is the major hindrance on this path. So how to tackle this hindrance? How to tackle this obstacle? How to tackle this I? I cannot go. So Sri Ramakrishna says that it is good to have a trace of ego, which makes it possible for a man to feel that he is the servant of God. That is the ego one should keep. I am the servant of God. I am the child of my mother. I am the devotee of my deity. That I, that limited I, that ripe I, one should always keep with oneself, so as one progresses on this path of enlightenment, on this path of illumination. As long as a man thinks that it is he who is doing his duties, and it is very good for him to feel that God is the master and he is God's servant. We all of us, we have this great kind of understanding, I am doing it. But when we change this attitude of I am doing it, because of me things are happening in this world. When we change this attitude, I am doing this as the servant of the God. I am doing this as willed by the Divine Mother. I am doing this as Mother wants me to do it. I am not doing anything on my own. I am just an instrument in the hands of that great player, that great magician. I am not doing anything. I am just an instrument. The Lord is getting the things done from me. When one is conscious of doing work, one should establish with God the relationship of servant and master. If I have to do some work, I cannot deny that I am not doing this work. I have to do. If I have to write something, if I have to say something, if I have to do something, I must do it. I cannot avoid. No one in this universe can avoid work. Even our Ma has said so, that till the time the being is living, work goes on. Same thing Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita, that there is never a moment where one is not working. Even the person who is sleeping, we say he is not doing any work, but he is sleeping. Sleeping is the work he is doing. Even during sleeping, he is breathing, His internal organs are functioning. The work is going on. Work never ceases. So Sri Ramakrishna says, when such is the thing, then why don't we take up that attitude of being the servant of the God, of doing the work? Let me do whatever I am doing. Let me do whatever God has put it in my lot to do. Let me do it as the servant of the God. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's explanation of how the devotees should perform their meditation, perform their worship, and even perform their worldly duties. Then during this explanation that Sri Ramakrishna was giving, Sri M started reflecting on the nature of the Supreme Brahman. M was somewhere else while Sri Ramakrishna was telling about how to perform the duties in the world as being the servant of the God, as being the child of the mother. M was reflecting upon the nature of Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna picked up that thought process of M and he changed the flow of talk towards the nature of Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna talking to M. Like the Akasha is the space, the vast space, one of the five primordial elements, one of the five Pancha Mahabhutas. Like the Akasha, Brahman is without any modification. The Akasha never gets modified. The Akasha is like Brahman, the vast, limitless, endless entity. You cannot put Akasha in any, small kind of a corner. This Akasha is there in this 10 feet by 10 feet room or 10 feet by 14 feet room. You cannot limit Akasha like that. Likewise, Brahman cannot be limited. Like Akasha, Brahman is without any modification. It has become manifold because of Shakti. We perceive Brahman because of Shakti. Otherwise, it is not possible for anyone to perceive the existence of the Brahman. It is not possible for anyone to know this existence, knowledge, bliss absolute. Only because of Shakti, we get some kind of clue. Oh, there is something called as Brahman, which is limitless, which is changeless, which is eternal. Again, Brahman is like fire, which itself has no color. Fire itself doesn't have any color. Fire takes up the color of the things which are burnt. The fire appears white if we throw a white substance into it. Red if you throw a red. Black if you throw a black. That is what happens in case of fire. Fire by itself, it doesn't have any color. It takes the color of whatever is being burnt. You burn a red thing, it will produce that red color, like our the crackers we burn during Diwali. We see so many colors coming out of those crackers. Whatever color you put inside, that color will come up as the fire. The three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, they belong to Shakti alone. That is the play of Shakti, that is the play of Mahamaya, that is the play of Adi Shakti, playing with these three gunas, the sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva indicating purity, rajas indicating activity, and tamas indicating absolute no activity, lethargy. Brahman itself is beyond the three gunas. What Brahman is cannot be described. It is beyond words. That which remains after everything is eliminated in the Vedantic process of not this, not this, and which is of the nature of bliss, is Brahman. The Vedantists, to realize Brahman, they keep on negating the existence of all these momentary things. Is this Brahman? No. Is this Brahman? No. Is this Brahman? No. Is this body Brahman? No. Is this mind Brahman? No. Is this life force Brahman? No. We start negating all the Panchakoshas, and ultimately, when there is nothing to be negated, when there is nothing to say this does not exist, there exists only the blissful Brahman, the existence, knowledge, bliss absolute. That is how Vedantists, they arrive at the realization of Brahman by the process of neti neti. And for this, Sri Ramakrishna has given such a beautiful example. Sri Ramakrishna explains this fact of how the Vedantists reach the stage of Brahman by the process of not this, not this, by the process of neti neti, how they reach. Sri Ramakrishna has beautifully given this example. Suppose the husband of a young girl has come to his father-in-law's house and is seated in the drawing room with other young men of his age. Husband has come to father-in-law's house. He is sitting with other people of his own age, and these youngsters, they're all sitting in the drawing room, chit-chatting, enjoying, having a good talk. And the wife of this son-in-law, the young bride, the girl and her friends are looking at them through the window. Now they're all inside the room, and they're all looking at this group of youngsters who are chit-chatting and making fun, sitting in the drawing room. Her friends do not know her husband. They have not seen her husband. They have come there for the first time to get to know who this girl's husband is. So what these friends, they start doing? They start asking questions to this girl. Her friends do not know her husband and ask her, pointing to one young man, "Is that your husband?" "No," the girl answers. "Is that your husband?" "No." The girl says, "No, he's not my husband." See the process of neti neti, how beautifully and in simple terms Sri Ramakrishna has explained the process of Vedantists. So the girl says, "No, he's not my husband." They point to another young man and ask if he is her husband. Again, the answer is no. They repeat the question, referring to a third, and she gives the same answer. Every time they ask, "Is it your husband?" "No, he's not my husband." "Is he your husband?" "No, he's not my husband." So every time the girl has to negate. He's not, he is not, he is not. Neti, neti, neti. And at the last, they point to the husband and ask, "Is he the one?" She says neither yes or no. The moment the friends point out to the boy who is her husband, there is no reply from her. She doesn't say yes or no, but only smiles and keeps quiet. That is her attitude. She doesn't say, "Oh, he's my husband." No. She just smiles. She just kind of nods possibly. So that is how the Brahmajnanis, they attain to Brahman in the process by following the process of neti neti, not this, not this. Her friends realize that he is her husband. The moment she doesn't say anything, the moment she just smiles, friends come to know, oh, this boy is her husband, and now they have understood who is her husband. There is no need for that girl to say yes or no. Only a little smile, only a soft smile, only a smitahasya. That is enough for her friends to know that this person is her husband. And then Sri Ramakrishna gives this teaching. One becomes silent on realizing the true nature of Brahman. When one realizes the true nature of Brahman, one cannot speak anything. One gets into the Maunavrat. One gets into total silence because there is nothing to be described. There is nothing to be talked about. No words can explain what Brahman is. Then our condition becomes like the condition of Trailangya Swami that Sri Ramakrishna had told us, who has got into the mode of complete silence, having understood what the true nature of Brahman is. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.